I pour 2 tablespoons of olive oil into a large plate. My friends, I am so happy to be with you again today. Next, I add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice right here. I definitely add 1 tablespoon of wine vinegar, a little salt, and pepper to taste. To keep the dressing from being too sour, I also add 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. I grate 1 clove of garlic right into the plate. Now I mix everything well, and my marinade is ready. To make sure the onion gets well marinated, the first thing I do is slice half a red onion. The onion needs to sit in the plate for a little while before adding all the other ingredients. And while the onion is marinating, I'll prepare the rest of the ingredients for this incredibly delicious autumn salad. My friends, as always, let me remind you not to forget to write which country you're watching me from. Now I'll need 300 grams of pumpkin. Pumpkin can be tricky to cut, but it bakes very quickly and turns out incredibly tasty. I peel the pumpkin and cut it into small cubes. Please let me know in the comments if you're watching me for the first time and how you like my recipes. So, I think the hardest part of preparing the pumpkin is already behind us. All that's left is to lay out the pumpkin pieces on a baking sheet, season them with olive oil and Italian herbs. The pumpkin will turn out very fragrant and tender. Now I'll bake the pumpkin in the oven for about 20 minutes. Next, I'll make rye flatbreads with sourdough, without yeast, which is made with live bacteria. So, I take 200 grams of rye sourdough starter. To this, I add 200 milliliters of room temperature water, half a teaspoon of salt, and 2 teaspoons of olive oil. To make the flatbreads aromatic, I add a bit of Italian herbs here as well. I mix everything well so the starter dissolves completely in the water. Next, I take 200 grams of whole grain rye flour and add it to the bowl. Again, I mix everything well. As you can see, making rye flatbreads with sourdough is very simple. You can buy the sourdough starter base or make it yourself at home. I'll leave instructions on how to make sourdough at home in the description below the video. You don't need to knead the dough for a long time. When it stops sticking to your hands, let it rest for about 2 hours. So, 2 hours have passed and the dough is ready. It turned out mature and very porous. Now I need to divide the dough into 4 parts. Take a look at what the dough looks like inside. It's absolutely ready for baking. From each piece, I'll shape a fairly thin flatbread. Each flatbread turned out to be about half a centimeter thick, or maybe 0.7 centimeters. My friends, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, don't forget to subscribe and, of course, give a like if you enjoy my recipes. So, everything is ready, and while the pumpkin is baking in the oven, I'll bake the flatbreads. I'm placing 4 flatbreads on the baking sheet, because with this amount of ingredients, I only got 4. I lightly moisten the tops with water. I do this so that the sesame and poppy seeds sprinkled on top don't fall off. This already looks so beautiful. I can't wait to see what a wonderful result we'll get. By the way, you can add any seeds you like, but sesame and poppy seeds work really well. Rye flatbreads bake very quickly, so I put them in the oven for 20 minutes. Now I need to feed the starter for next time. I specifically set aside 150 grams and add it to a bowl like this. To this, I add 150 milliliters of room temperature water and 150 grams of rye flour. In 12 hours, you can already bake a new, fresh loaf of bread, or you can just leave it and store it in the fridge. Whenever you want to use the starter, just put it in a warm place for another 12 hours. Just look at how appetizing that looks. The flatbreads are almost ready. The onions are marinated, and I add the roasted pumpkin to the bowl. To this, I add 100 grams of feta and 50 grams of pistachios. I mix everything well, and my amazing autumn salad is ready. You can add some greens if you like. I have some parsley left, a bit frozen in the fridge. I highly recommend you try making this salad. So, 20 minutes have passed, and the flatbreads are baked. The smell is amazing. They look wonderful. My friends, if you bake these flatbreads along with me, be sure to share your results. I put the flatbreads on a plate and let them rest a bit. I cover them with a towel and leave them like that for a while. I really liked the result. The flatbreads turned out fragrant, and if you love baked goods made from rye flour, you'll really enjoy these too. I highly recommend making these flatbreads and the salad. This is a very healthy and delicious dinner.